Hello there. So, in part one, we talked about how I've been doing millions in affiliate commissions year after year. I showed you the inside of my affiliate dashboards to make sure you know that I don't just make money teaching other people how to make money. Seems like a common theme these days. And if you missed that video, make sure you watch it first. We talked about the SEO lies, so to speak, that have infected the SEO community. And everyone just makes SEO so complicated, I really don't understand it. Yet, here I am with sheer simplicity, running circles around the big dogs, both in terms of rankings and actual affiliate commissions, which for them are very little, if any at all. So what we're going to do today in this video, I'm going to start going into the most simple SEO formula you will ever hear. And I'm going to teach you how to make your on-page SEO impeccable with my simple on-page formula. By the way, I'm only going to continue this series if we get more interest. Likes, comments, subs aren't very good yet, so if it stays low, I may just do a couple more and end the series.
No! God, please, no! No!
But if we can get more activity going, I'll keep the videos coming. Okay, so back to the show. Now, most of SEOs focus on way too many things. For example, they will go by something like the following. Even as an advanced SEO, if I look at this list, I'm going to be extremely overwhelmed. And if I'm a beginner, I'm probably going to say something like, forget this. This is way too complicated. Lucky for you, I have a very, very simple formula that will help you run circles around the people that are following that crap that you see up there. And this simple formula has brought me commissions like the following, where you can see commissions were almost $1 million in the last year or so. And this one right here, which I've done almost $1 million in commissions lifetime and 300 grand in the last year alone. And this one right here, where I did almost $400,000 last year alone. And of course, tons of others to add on to that. We're not going to keep showing those. I just want you to know that this is coming from someone who walks the walk. I don't just show people how to make money online. I do it, and then I teach you how I did it. And I was able to earn these all because I stick to a simple formula for SEO, not that stuff that we saw earlier. So let's get into my simple SEO formula. In this video, we are going to start with on-page SEO, and we're about to jump in, but I want to remind you of something very quickly. This is almost going to seem too easy or too good to be true, but I promise you, this is the exact formula that I use to generate the commissions like the one you just saw, and I've done it year over year. This formula has also enabled me to take on 100 million a year plus clients where they've had well-known SEOs failing to do their SEO for them. I come on board, I implement this simple formula, and within a few months, they take off. All right, so it's time to get into it. Let's roll. All right, so here we have it, my secret SEO formula. It's so secret that I named it Doc 1, as you can see up here. All right. So here is my formula. It's basically 7 things that you need to consider for on-page SEO. And I'm going to go through all 7 things and explain them. But let me do an overview first. Okay. So the first thing you want for your on-page SEO is a keyword in your domain. And if you don't have a keyword in your domain, you want to try to get it in your URL. Okay. Number 2 is you want keywords in your title, but you also want an engaging title that's going to help people click. Number 3, you want keywords in H tags and you want variations. You don't want to overdo it. Number 4, keywords in description, but again, make it engaging. Make people want to click. Number 5 is keywords in content, but under optimize if anything. I'm going to explain all these in detail. Number 6, have good formatting. For example, bolding, bullet points, numbered list, headings, etc. Number 7, make your word count similar to the first page that has similar authority to you. So let's start with number 1 here. Now, keyword in domain is the biggest on-page formula for SEO that there is. Now, there is a little bit of a but with this. Keyword in domain is the biggest on-page factor, but it doesn't start getting extremely strong until you start getting more authority. When you just have a regular domain and you start brand new and you have a keyword in the domain, it doesn't do a ton for you. It does still help, but it doesn't start becoming that number one on-page SEO signal until you start getting more authority. As you get more and more links, that keyword in your domain does more and more for you. The reason is because the way Google looks at it is if you have a keyword in your domain and people are linking to you, well, the more people that link to you, the more people that means trust you. So the more trust they're going to give you for the keyword in the domain. So that is why keyword and domain I have listed as the biggest on-page factor, because it is. Once you start getting those links. Now, before you start getting all the links, it may not be the number one factor, but it's still up there. But again, as you build more and more links, it just keeps building and building and building in the amount of power that it holds for you. There's cases where you'll see the first page has all 10,000 plus referring domains, and then you see one domain in there with a couple hundred because they were able to get there because they have a keyword in the domain. So it can do a whole lot for you. The problem is it just pigeonholes you to what you can really make your domain on. Now, if you have a keyword in a domain, you can go into other topics that aren't about that keyword, but it's just going to look a little bit weird to the searcher, and it's going to be a little bit harder for some other factors that I'm not going to cover right now. So if you don't have your keyword in your domain, you want to make sure you get your keyword in your URL. So if you, for example, have a branded domain or just something else, totally fine. You just want to make sure the keyword is in the inner URL that you set up. And that's, kind of nowhere near as powerful as keyword in domain, but it's the next best thing we can do next to the domain is a keyword in the URL. But it's not as powerful because a URL can be changed very easily, right? Once you have a keyword in domain, that can't be changed. And that is why a keyword in domain is so much more powerful than anything else, because you can't change it. Once you have it, it's there. And then if people start linking to it, it just gives you credibility for whatever you have there. So that's a breakdown there. URL really shouldn't be tied for number one because keyword in domain is in a league of its own, especially as you start getting those links. But I just put it with the domain because it's the closest next thing. And if you don't have it in the domain, which most of you won't in most cases, then you just want to make sure that keyword is in your URL. So next, we have keyword in title. Now, I used to stuff my titles with keywords. For example, I'll do like best e-cigarettes of 2024 and then e-cig reviews, for this year, like something along those lines, where I just have like all keywords. Now I do it a little different. Okay. Engagement is starting to be more important. Click-through rate is starting to be more important. So what I do now is I put my main keyword in my title, but I also do something engaging in there, right? So if we use the e-cigarette example, I'll do like the best e-cigarettes of 2024, don't hurt your lungs or something like that, right? Just something that's going to make people say, what the heck did he say? Like, what is he talking about there? Something that makes people say, what is that? Like it makes them wonder, makes them curious, or it triggers some type of emotion. Try to mix in a keyword in title with emotion. Number 3 is going to be keyword in H tags. Now for this, you're going to want to have LSI keywords in a lot of your H tags. You don't just want to keep repeating the same keyword over and over in every single H tag. And you also want H tags that don't have keywords in them. Right. So if I'm doing e-cigarettes, I'll maybe have an H tag that says, what do they do for your health? And I won't mention e-cigarettes. I already know we're talking about that. But you don't want to just fill up every H tag with keywords and variations of your keyword. You definitely want to have H tags that have just kind of basic explanations, maybe questions or something that has no keyword in it. The big thing here is you want to make sure you have at least your main keyword in just one H tag. That's all you need is one. You don't need to do tons of them. One will do it because if anything, when it comes to optimization these days, you want to underdo optimization opposed to being over-optimized. Under-optimization isn't going to hurt you, whereas over-optimization can definitely hurt you. So if you are on the cuff about should I do more, should I do less, you want to do less in all cases. Number 4, keywords in description. So this is the same thing as the title. We just get more characters here, right? You want to have a description that has your keywords in it, but you also want to make it engaging. For example, if we go back to the e-cigs, and I'm going off the cuff here, so if I have a horrible one, you want to say something like, learn what our researchers found the best e-cigarettes of 2024 are, get our full reviews here. Then I'll say something like, click here if you don't want to lose your lungs, right? Something along those lines. Or it's just like, what? Something that makes them want to click your description. Again, same thing as the title. You just get a more descriptive kind of description there. And you can use something like ChatGPT to help you with that and help give you ideas for what to put in your description. Number 5 is keywords in content, but the big thing here is under-optimized, if anything. Now, this is super important. When it comes to content, keywords in content are actually very unimportant. Okay. When I'm talking about content, I'm talking about the text on the screen that is just regular paragraphs. Okay. I'm not talking about H tags or anything like that or anything that's bolded. I'm talking about regular text in regular text format that's regular size. The reason they're so unimportant is because I could be talking about e-cigarettes and I could talk about how my cat ate my e-cigarette, but that page has nothing to do with cats, right? If my page was about cats, cats would be in my domain or my URL, it would be in my title, it would be in my H tags. Those are all the bigger importances, right? In my just meta description, those are all the higher authority places for on page when it comes to having keywords in them. When it comes to your actual content, like the regular size text, that does very little for your relevancy when it comes to Google, because you can throw any keyword in there, just talking about anything, and it could have nothing to do with that keyword. So when it comes to keywords in content, you of course want to make sure your main keyword is in there at least once, but again, make sure you under optimize if anything. Over optimizing keywords in your regular content can again hurt you, just like the H tags, but under optimizing it is not going to hurt you at all, because that's a very small signal when it comes to on page. The bigger signals are, again, domain, URL, title, and H tags and meta description. Those are the bigger ones in order, kind of. So when it comes to your actual content, people try to have like a certain percentage, when this really doesn't matter, because that's not a big signal to Google when it comes to on page, because the bigger signals are going to be where the main keywords are. So for example, if I have cat in my content, but it's not in my domain or my URL or my title or my H tags, you're never going to rank for something about cats. Okay. Never, ever, ever. I don't care how big your authority is. So that's what you need to know when it comes to keywords in content. Number 6 is good formatting. This is definitely made a big difference over the last year or two. Pages that are well formatted with bolding and bullet points and numbered lists and headings and images and videos and things just look nice help your site. Okay. I think Google is looking for certain tags, but I also think that helps keep people on your page, which Google is also looking more at as well. So make sure you have good formatting for your content. Make sure it looks good. As you scroll down, don't just have a bunch of whole big paragraphs. You want to have your H tags broken up and your numbered lists and your bolding and your bullet points and your headings and your images. And you need to have your pages looking good to really give you the best chance of ranking and staying ranking, because you want people to come and stay so you can stay in the rankings. Number 7, the last thing here, is make your word count similar to the first page that has similar authority. So what I mean by this is, if you have like Forbes and Business Insider and money.com and all these other sites ranking on the first page, their word count doesn't mean much to me. What means more to me is the sites on the first page that have the type of authority that I have. So what I'm looking at is, I'm ignoring the sites like Forbes and Business Insider. I'm looking at the sites that have around the authority I have. So even if I have a couple hundred and there's a site on the first page with a couple thousand, that's the site I'm concentrating on. If there's 2 sites on the first page that have a couple thousand referring domains, and my site maybe has around there or less in the hundreds, well, I'm going to get their average word count and be around there. For example, maybe the site in the 3 position has like 2,500, and then maybe the site in the 6th position has like 2,700. Okay, well, I'm going to be in that word count range for my site, because these sites with similar authority have word counts in that range. So there's no reason to do a whole bunch more or less. We want to be in that sweet spot. And not saying that Google concentrates on this like a ton, but there is certain keywords, I believe, or certain phrases or search terms where they don't want a 10,000 keyword article, right? For example, if it's like a question-based query where someone's like, what is the best e-cigarette? You're likely not going to have a 10,000 word article. If they're asking like, are e-cigarettes bad for your health? You're not going to have a 5,000 word article likely. Likely, it's going to be articles that are like 1,000, 2,000 range, right? Just answering that question and maybe going a little more in depth. So as you see right here, I have it named, super important, Doc 1. This is my secret SEO formula. In all seriousness, this is the formula I go by. Everything else that you see, like, your social shares and your social buttons and your image optimization and all that other stuff they talk about, everything else I ignore. Okay. What that does for me is allows me to get the most important things right. Number 1 through 7 here. These are the most important things in order, right? Like domain is biggest, then URL, then title, H tags, description, content, formatting, and your word count. These things right here are the biggest movement factors when it comes to on-page SEO. Yes, little things like image optimization can help. But the problem is, if you focus on all the other things, you start not doing as well on these factors that matter the most. So my strategy is focus on these 100%. Get this 100% right. This 100% moves 95% of the needle. Now, if I do all this and I'm still like, low first page, top page 2, something like that, well, then I can start focusing on other little things like image optimization and things along those lines. But what I found with me and my students is if we don't focus on this first 100%, we don't rank nearly as well. And our brain is so scattered all over the place on all these things we need to do to optimize, it doesn't work as well. So there it is. There you have it. That is the simple on-page SEO formula for success. If you just focus on the above, I can guarantee you will improve your SEO and you'll probably save your sanity as well. All right, so next we are going to cover, I'm not quite sure yet, likely something on authority because that matters a lot. Although, look, again, not enough people are liking, commenting, subscribing. So I may end this series early if we keep getting a lack of interest. So if you're interested, make sure you're like, commenting, subscribing. Let me know this is helping you. If I find it's helping people, I will keep going. All right, so see you in the next video, hopefully.